Hi everyone, it's Sal. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me today for our free psychic seminar on how to be psychic, and I've got so many exciting topics to share with you today. Before I get started, if you are hearing me okay and you're seeing me okay, can you just pop a little note in the chat box and let me know where you're from, and just let me know that you're all coming through okay, because sometimes the comments don't pop up and I want to make sure I can see all your comments as they're coming in. For those of you who haven't been here before when I've done these monthly seminars, basically I share with you 5 or 6 of what I feel like is the most important questions, or the most questions that will benefit the community that I have received throughout the last month or so. And I share with you the answers to those. And I also have taken questions when I let people know that the seminar was going to be running. I took some questions there too. Hello, Michelle from Northern, I'm going to say California. Is that Northern California or Carolina? CA. Hello, Michelle. Oh, Canada even. That could be Canada. Let me know, Michelle. Hi, Bob. Thank you for seeing I saw you saw the post before that I was going live in 1 hour. Thank you for your little like. Hello, Laura. Thanks so much for coming. Hi, Izzy. Thank you so much for coming, guys. So if you are watching the replay of this, can you just make sure you click subscribe, because it means you'll be watching it on YouTube, and that means you won't ever miss me when I come live like this, and you won't have to tag yourself every time. And also you'll get access to all my back catalogue, so you'll be able to go through and see all the topics that I've covered before. Hello, Annie. Yes, California. Awesome, Michelle. Hi, Annie. So the way these usually work is I will share these questions that people have asked me throughout the month, and then if you've got a question for me and you're joining me here, you can pop it in and I will answer it at the end. Izzy from Chicago, Laura from London, but you're Italian. Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in live. And yeah, as I said, if you've got questions along the way, just pop them in the box and I'll be able to get back to you and answer them for you. So what we're going to cover today, the topics we're going to deal with today, is we're going to talk about what happens when you watch the whole course and nothing happens. So the question that Marilyn asked was, how do I know if I'm psychic? Can you tell me if I'm psychic? I watched the course, nothing happened. So I'm going to give her some suggestions, and anyone who has got doubts around their abilities. Hello, Ariel from Canada. So I'm going to share that with you. Now, Vasali also asks questions about, she's asking about whether or not, how long does it take to improve your clairs, so your clairvoyance, and are there processes to fast forward it? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about alternatives to angel cards for those of you who are perhaps Hindu or non-denominational and would rather look at some oracle card decks that aren't associated with archangels and angels. We're also going to talk about how you can deal with health readings. So Serena asked a question in the group this week about health readings, and can cards answer questions about health readings and how to best handle this. And also we're going to be looking at a bit more about mediumship and some little tips around that. Ariel, your course is what catapulted, sorry, I can't even speak today, catapulted me into giving oracle readings and sharing my gifts. Thank you so much for making your teaching so accessible. You are so welcome. Thank you, Ariel. Thank you. I'm so glad I could help. Thanks, Greg. Thank you. So, actually, while I'm on that note, I just want to share with you a big thank you and gratitude, heartfelt thank you to those of you who took the effort and time this week to post some reviews on my courses. This means so much to me, and it helps me being able to continue to make courses. So thank you. So the following people: Bati Bashist, Dawn Malau, Mary Wilson, Stephen Cantalese, and Arvi Kyan, and everyone else who took that time this month to write a few comments about how the course benefited them. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Annie, I'm going to, I realise when I try to concentrate on the Meet Your Guardian Angel portion, it's hard for me to visualise, and I tend to feel like my eyes are rolling in my head. Okay, Annie, I'll answer that for you. In fact, when I go through this now, that'll probably answer this to you. How do we post a review? So there should be a rate this course. If you go, there should be like a ... thing that says rate this course that you should be able to see in your course. I'm not sure. I usually do it on my desktop when I review other courses. So, but there should be, if you click through all your options, there should be a couple of little dots next to your course that talks about rating it. And you can rate it any time through it. But thank you for that, Ariel. Much appreciated. think there's another way, but it should just say on your thing, rate this course. Like when you're in the lectures, it should say that. But if not, if you click on the top right-hand corner, there should be a couple of dots that'll let you do that. So thank you. So let's get started with talking about, Marilyn's asked this very honest question, and I really understand why people had this question. So she mentioned she watched the whole entire course, and she said, hey, basically, can you advise me if I have the gift of even being psychic? I've listened to the course and nothing happens. Now, the first way to rest assure her and anyone else who's ever had these doubts is that being psychic isn't just one thing. So there are many different types of being psychic, and also learning how to be psychic isn't like learning to drive a car, or it's not like learning how to use Excel or learning how to put furniture together or something like that. It's something that is a skill that can sometimes take time to build up. It can take a lot of practice, so it won't happen necessarily in 3 or 4 hours. Sometimes you'll need to do more practice and practice every day. For me, for example, every time I do a reading, I have a 20-minute process where I sit in and I go in and I meditate and I connect with my guides and angels and I work with my crystals and I do a whole process before I go in there. And some might say, well, can't you just like look at someone and straight away start telling stuff? And I say, no, that my gift doesn't work like that. Like I'll get little niggles and messages and intuition when I see people or when I'm having a conversation with people, but I don't want my gift to be turned on so that stuff's constantly coming in. So for you, honey, Marilyn, I hope you're watching this now, there might be a couple of things at play. So I'm going to give you some suggestions. First, please don't compare yourself to anyone else in this group. For me, I find the top reason that people struggle when it comes to their psychic gifts, and it might not be you, but this can be the top reason, is inadequacy and feeling like you're not good enough. And this can come, like you might have tried lots of different things and felt you weren't good enough. And because the psychic realms are so, it's so hard to define. Like people are like, well, I should straight away do a course and straight away I can see and know everything and I can predict my future and my mother's future. It doesn't work like that. It's kind of a soul journey and a psychic journey in its own right, learning how to be psychic. Now, of course, there are people who are born and they literally come out of the womb within 2 or 3 days. They're speaking about their grandmother's kidney problems. Like that does happen. But for the vast majority of us, it is a skill that we practice and learn and we grow and expand. So while I had childhood experiences for me, and I've had experiences before I started learning tech, like in a formal way, for me, the most psychic I've been has been when I have trained and practiced, but it does take time. So the first thing I would suggest to anyone who is facing this issue is write down everything you fear about being psychic. Like what would be the worst thing that would happen if suddenly you could tell the future, or suddenly you could tune in and tell if someone was lying, or suddenly you knew exactly whether or not to buy a house, or just go into what will be the worst thing. And some of you might have resistance and go, oh, that sounds hard. I don't want to go write that down. But it is not an easy journey, but if you can nail it, it'll really open you up a lot if you start writing out what's the worst thing that could happen to me. The next thing I'd like you to think about is to focus on, and this is for anyone who asks about, I didn't see the guardian angel, I didn't make progress. Sometimes we are all psychic in different areas. Like sometimes we can struggle with visualization, but we're really good at connecting with cards. So, or we could be good at like maybe sensing auras or sensing the spirits, but we don't see them. So for me, it's like, okay, let's put aside one defined idea of what it means to be psychic. You might have seen some people on TV that pick up on people that have passed away or been able to really spot on nail something, and you thought, hey, why can't I do that? And for me, being psychic is so much more complex and so much more broad. So for me, as I said, I can't read auras. Like I have tried and tried and tried. I can't read auras. That's not my gift. My gift is I seem to be able to just tune into people, and with my eyes closed, not with my eyes open, and I see their guides and angels, and I work with the cards, and I get messages, and I help them with their emotional issues and what's going on and how to improve their life. Like that's kind of my gift. But everyone will have their own unique gift, and everyone has their own unique path of how they get there. So the first thing to think about for Marilyn and anyone else who's worried about this is, okay, what's my biggest fears? The second, could I have a block? Like, am I afraid that if I suddenly start seeing things, I'm going to be judged? Do I have a past life where I was persecuted for being psychic and maybe I'm stopping myself? Do I have a block on my third eye? Do I need to maybe work with a spiritual healer to heal that? Now, I have courses that can help you. I have one called Boost Your Psychic Gifts with EFT Tapping that can really go in and address those fears. Or another one called Remove Blocks to Your Psychic Power with Past Life Therapy. Both of those courses are really powerful at helping you shift blocks you have. In my course that follows this one, Psychic Readings Intermediate Level, I talk about the 26 common blocks that most beginning readers have. And so you might have one of those, Marilyn. Like, I can't tell what that is because you're not my client. But if you start writing out, though, that should come out. You won't need a reader or a healer to tell you that. The second thing I suggest is practice with your oracle cards. And I know it's hugely scary, but try to practice on people in this group. Like, say, hey, I'm a beginner, I'm nervous, I just want to practice some oracle card readings. And can I just say, do it on Zoom? Like, do it when you're looking at each other face to face and you can actually build up some rapport, not just on Facebook or as a distance thing. And, chat to each other and just, ask a question like, what do I need to know about my career or job? And pull 3 cards and then communicate that and just see what comes through. The biggest problem I find for so many people, especially with online learning, I have to say, is it's so cerebral, and psychic is about being in the body and the soul and the intuition, whereas learning online can be a little bit in your head. And so when I used to run this as a live workshop, I'd pair people up and I'd say right in front of them, I go, right, you two do a reading for each other. And they would go off privately and do that. And doing that builds your confidence. You start seeing, hey, I am getting this. And hey, I am getting some extra messages here. And hey, actually, I feel this. And please don't expect you're going to have the ability of someone who's been doing this for 15 years straight away. Like, it's a very delicate process. And it's almost like you have to really congratulate yourself every time you get even the littlest bit of thing. Otherwise, that little inner child of yours will just shut down and say, I'm not doing this anymore. No, I'm not doing it. If you're not going to even support me when I make a little bit of progress, I'm not going to keep going. So go back to the oracle card section. I'm not sure if you've finished that bit yet. Go back to it and get some oracle cards, fall in love with them and practice in this group. And just start with small questions. And if someone gives you a really hard question, say, listen, can we just start with something simple because I'm a nervous beginner? And just say, hey, I feel like the cards are saying this and this and this. And look at them and practice with them and do that. And that is how you start to get better. Then if you're not making any progress, so say try that for a month. Try 3 or 4 different people to do readings for. If you go, every time I got it wrong, every time I made no progress, it felt uncomfortable and awful and I just want to cry, then maybe look at either doing one of my courses or working with a healer, because you could have deeper blocks that doesn't matter. You could be with any teacher in the world or study all the content in the world, and it's not going to make a difference if those blocks are really deep in you. Like, if you're desperately afraid you're going to get it wrong, those nerves will make you paralyzed. If you're desperately afraid that you are going to be judged, that being psychic is something woo-woo and kooky and weird, and you're going to have repercussions from that, then that will block you too. If you think some people, as I said, their idea of being psychic is so exactly like in the movies, like this spot on professional person who has been doing it for 20 years. And sometimes it's little things. So start working every day with it. And that's the other thing I would say is consistency. So for me, when I started training, I remember I went and did the 3-day program with Doreen Virtue, I think it was like 15 years ago now. And I was started with the cards and I was getting lots of stuff and I was so excited because I was practicing on people, and which is the inspiration of why I started this group, because I wanted people to have that option to practice on each other. And then I kind of didn't do anything for a little while and I felt like it kind of went away. And so I had to go into doing stuff every day. So in your lectures in this, there's a process which is daily practices every day. And I highly suggest you do them every day. And if you miss a day, it's not the end of the world. And then the course that follows this one, I have, and this is actually for anyone who is talking about going higher, I have a whole lot of exercises about strengthening your clairvoyance and strength. So that's psychic readings intermediate level, strengthening your clairvoyance, and you do it every day for a week, and then you do an assignment on it. Or strengthening your clairaudience, so your messages to hear, every day for a week. And that kind of consistency can really up-level your abilities and give you that more confidence. But as I said, if you've got blocks, they might interfere. If you've got resistance, if you're even listening to me now and going, I don't want to do any of that, it all sounds so hard, then that could just be part of your soul journey, and just to say, okay, well, I'll find a way to do it. It might take some time. I've been with people in this group for years, and some of them have said, I did your course and I loved it, but nothing really happened. I went away and I practiced on your other courses and I got better, or I did some healings, or I did some Reiki, and they tread their own path, and they came back and suddenly the stuff that I taught in here just gelled and resonated, and they were like, oh my God, it's all falling into place. But it might not happen straight away, and it might be just a beautiful journey of self-love. Like I said, if you're experiencing inadequacy issues, it's very hard to push through, especially with hearing your guides and angels. If you don't believe in them, it's going to be nearly impossible, by the way. So go in and say, okay, I'm just going to try and pretend or allow and just let it happen, and just go, okay, and if that doesn't work, let's pull some cards. And do work with your crystals. I do find that having the crystals with me, meditating with them for 5 minutes a day, that really opens up things as well. Do some of those chakra clearing things I talk about. So sometimes it's not a matter of just going through the course and suddenly being psychic. Sometimes it's a matter of practicing things for quite a few weeks before you start noticing a difference. So I hope that helps for anyone. And please, I can see these wonderful questions, please save them to the end so I can get to them and I don't run off on a tangent. Hello, Marilyn. So I hope that helps, Marilyn. It's giving you some ideas. Start with writing out your biggest fears. Make sure you're practicing those daily in your course already. Go into those daily exercises, practice some of those. Go back into the oracle card section and work through the oracle card section. Do that for a month, practicing the group, do 3 or 4 readings, then go back in and do the guided meditation. If nothing is still happening, then think about maybe one of my courses on removing blocks, because it could be one of the block things. But start with that. Give yourself a good solid month of throwing everything you've got at it and see. And again, don't judge yourself. Some people pick this up straight away. Some people, it takes a while. And I'm going to put myself up here. I am a terrible driver. Like, people who know me well, they don't always like getting into cars with me. I didn't get my license until I was 24, and I'm a bit of a nervous driver. And my sister got, she could drive from the age of 3. She could get in the car and sit on someone's lap, and she was fantastic. She is an excellent driver. I would trust her in any country in the world driving. But me, I've always never been that great at it, and I just had to practice and try, and I had to put myself in those really awful positions of really difficult driving, and then I got good. So, or better. So, it can be like that. Sometimes you have to just accept that you're different to other people and not judge yourself on that. And it might be just a bit more of a journey. Okay, so I'm going to answer everyone's questions, but I just wanted to quickly move on to the next question, and then I'll come back and answer these. So the lovely Vasali asks, how long does it take to strengthen the clairs? So again, there's actually no one answer for this. Like, for some people, they can notice a massive difference in a week. So like in the Psychic Readings Intermediate course after this one, people get back to me in the assignment that they do, and they say, oh my goodness, this has made such a difference. Like, within a week, I was doing readings, and I was tuning into people's guides, and I saw someone's grandmother, and like the whole thing just improves rapidly. For some people, it can take a few months because they've got to clear some blocks. But the biggest thing I would say is practice and consistency. Like, keep doing it. As I said, especially if I haven't done a reading for a while, I will have to go in there and really kind of get back into the game. I can't just jump in and do a reading and start channeling stuff and everything comes through. I've got to go in and take some extra time. And I'll even, when I'm getting back into readings a few days before, I'll start preparing myself a lot more than I would if I'm just teaching or doing my everyday thing, or if I'm on holidays, for example. So yeah, it does take a little bit of effort and consistency, meditating with your guides, calling them in to help you, journaling, like all those artistic talent things, that they will all help. but it's not something that is one answer for one person and one answer for someone different. Do practice as much as you can clearing that third eye. That will definitely help. Like visualizing it. If you can't visualize, just ask your guides to help or work with a Reiki healer. But there is no one answer for one person because we're all so unique and we're all so different. And some of us have blocks and some of us don't. Some of us are great with feeling energy. Some of us are better at seeing energy. So yeah, that's why there isn't one answer. But definitely practice those exercises in psychic readings intermediate level. Do them all. There's about 50 exercises in there. Find the ones you love the most. Find the ones you hate and do both of those. Usually the hate ones are the good ones. That's the resistance stuff. So try both of them and just keep at it, and then it does improve. Yeah, Bob here said could be past life trauma. Oh, he's talking about someone else. Yeah, I'll get back to that one later. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, past life trauma is massive. I find roughly, I reckon 30 to 40% of blocks can come from that. And I know I had a lot of blocks of my own that I had to clear with past life trauma. And I remember an energy healer once said to me, listen, Sal, you've been doing this for so many lifetimes, like your healings and your readings. This is before I even thought about being a professional. And she said, that's many, many lifetimes you've done this. And there have been lifetimes where it's been really, really awful. So there's no wonder that you're finding it hard to find your purpose and find that your way to this. So I hope that has helped everybody. So Serena now asks, and thank you everyone for commenting. I'm going to go back in and deal with those too and help you with those as well. Serena asked the question. She said, hi, I'm facing health. She got a message from someone. So I think she was giving a reading for someone. And their question was, I'm facing health issues at the moment. I don't have all the details. Can tarot, and I want to know more about crystals and healing. Can tarot tell me what's likely to happen? Now, first of all, as you guys know, I do try to save the tarot questions for Tarot Card Success because that's the course in Tarot Mastery. That's the course that I do focus on all the tarot questions and me helping you with tarot and learning and tarot and practicing tarot. But I did want to answer it in this group because it is such an important question about any kind of card readings and can they tell you about health. First thing I will say is that it's really important to be incredibly delicate and sensitive and aware about health readings. Do not take them on lightly. Like the reason I don't talk about health readings in this course, How to Be Psychic, and in Tarot Card Success is because for me they are best reserved for more experienced readers. And I did create an entire course on that called Master Health Readings and Psychic Wellness. So that course focuses on chronic illnesses, giving card readings with tarot and oracle for chronic illnesses, and also how to protect yourself psychically if you're a long-term psychic, like your psychic wellness. But also I talk a lot in that course about how it's really important. The first thing to do with a health reading, if it's something like that, is to say, look, if you get messages around health, like you need to tell people to see their doctor. Like you can't tell people to stop taking medication. You can't even tell someone not to get a vaccine, no matter what your views are personally. Like all of that information has to be funneled through GPs, whether you believe in the medical system or not, whether you believe in the scientific system or not. That is to protect you legally. But it's also a moral issue because if you get a psychic reading wrong on someone and you put their life at risk, that's a huge thing. Like morally, karmically, ethically, reputation-wise, legally, that's a big, scary barrel of fish or barrel of something. So be very conscious with health readings. Always preface everything you say with, I think you should speak to your doctor. But you can pull cards. The tarot can and I explore this in the Master Health Readings course. The tarot can definitely talk about the journey and the health journey. And there are certain cards that point to certain illnesses, but I would never pull. So say the Four of Cups, for example, was related to kidneys, and I pulled that. I would never say to someone, oh my goodness, look, I can see you're going to have kidney problems because you've got the Four of Cups. That's not a great thing to do because the Four of Cups can mean like emotional stagnation and feeling bored and restless and deeply unhappy. So it can even be a bit depression. So that's, that you can't, for me, identify cards that easily with certain health conditions. I think you've got to be, you get a clue, but I think you've got to be wary, very, very wary of that approach for me. But yes, so if you do want to know more about health readings, I have that course on Udemy, Master Health Readings and Psychic Wellness, that deals with oracle cards and tarot cards and health readings and how to manage that. And always feel free to say no. Like if you say, hey, I'm so sorry, I can give you another type of reading, but I don't do health readings, or I'm not comfortable at this level doing health readings, because if you don't feel comfortable doing them, don't do them, because that is, as I said, they are probably the most dangerous types of readings you can do if you're not comfortable. So I hope that's helped anyone with the health readings question. Be very aware if you intuitively feel something coming through. Tell people. I do. I say, hey, if I tune into someone and I get a big red or a black spot around their liver or around their pancreas or around their, I say, hey, I'm getting this feeling around this area of your body. I don't want you to panic. I don't want you to freak out. It could be a metaphysical thing. It might be, but, just in case, please go and see your doctor. And if you're having any of these symptoms, see your doctor, because that's the next step. And that's what I've done a few times. And I've had that happen to me, and people have come back and said, thank you, yes, there was a problem. So, you can use your gifts for that, but try not to use them. Because one of the problems with health readings, and all readings really, is people give way too much power to psychics. Like way. And they will go and take that on board, and they'll think, oh my God, I'm going to have a heart attack, or oh my God, I'm going to need a kidney transplant because the psychic said I've got problems with my kidneys. And, they can catastrophize this way over, when really it might be, I'm sensing some bad energy around this part of your body. Please go and get it checked out. And then don't be afraid. It might be, kidneys can mean other things in the metaphysical world. It could be something else, but just go and get it checked out. And that way you're covering your bases. So I hope that's helped everyone with health readings. Now, Anisha, my question's regard to mediumship. Is it normal to feel abrupt breaks when you're trying to connect or practicing mediumship? How do we strengthen this? And she says, I'm not sure if you're covering mediumship in your live session. So listen, I'm not sure where you're up to in the course, honey. Mediumship for me, I consider myself probably an intermediate level mediumship person. I can teach enough of it that's the very basics, but I'm not an advanced mediumship reading, and I never advertise myself. And by mediumship, I mean that aspect of connecting with deceased people. The aspect of mediumship of information coming through from non-physical beings, I can do that. But in terms of connecting with people who are deceased and asking for information, that's always been a weak point of mine. I don't advertise that I do those sessions. Sometimes they come through and I will share, but I don't set my sessions up for that, because it's just never been my favourite thing. It's not my big, massive gift. And again, that speaks to what I was saying to Marilyn in the beginning. It doesn't make me not a psychic because I can't connect with deceased people. For me, I've done thousands of readings. It's just that that's not my primary gift. They don't come in all the time for me. Sometimes someone will come in accidentally and I'll be like, oh wow, oh my goodness, I'm getting this message from your brother, or something happened to your brother, and I'll get that, but it's not something that I deliberately set out to get. But if you're talking about mediumship in the broad sense, so the broad sense of mediumship also includes that kind of, channeling non-third parties, as basically, so coming through other people and seeing through other people. That to me, yes, you can have breaks, and you can strengthen it by consistency. So what I talk about, some of those exercises that are in this course, that are in the Psychic Readings Intermediate Level course, practice those exercises again and again. So breaks and abrupt endings often come when we're just not being focused enough, or there's external environments, like we're not feeling like maybe there's drilling going on outside or something like that. So that can be an effect, but practice the daily exercises from this course, and if you want to do the intermediate course, that too. So that's how I would deal with that kind of thing. But I am not your best expert at dealing with deceased people. There are much better experts that you can find out there. So Denise Litchfield, I'm a big fan of her. Alison Mauer, I'm a big fan of her. There are people on Udemy that do it much better than me. It sounds funny to just send you off to everyone else, but I am much more basic level, foundation level mediumship, I would say, because as I said, it's not my biggest gift, and in my sessions I don't do it that much. I hope that's helped with that one. So go check out Denise Litchfield. On my YouTube channel I have an interview with Denise. where she talks about transformational information that comes through from the other side. As I said, I think I'm a big fan of hers. She is a great mediumship teacher. Alison Mauer, who is also fantastic. So there are other people that can deal with that better than me. But I would definitely say mediumship, like any gift or any session, if you're getting snapped out of it really quickly. So for me, if you were going to ask me that question, okay, I'm connecting with someone's guide and angels to answer questions, and I was snapping out of it regularly, it just probably means you need to focus a bit more on consistently practicing the exercises and staying in them for longer. So set your iTunes for like 10 or 15 minutes and stay in it for a bit longer. I would do that, unless it's a block as well. And so I hope that has helped. Anisha, I hope that's helped, my love, with that. And if it hasn't, just let me know and I'll pop a question on the Q&A board and I'll answer it. So Subrayam, I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Subramiam says, do you have alternatives in the psychic journey and oracle cards to the angels and oracle cards? So I know I've got a lot of students in this course who are Hindu, or they might be of another religion, and they're not really into the angels or the archangels. And so I do those a lot more in my other courses. So as you start going into my other courses, you'll see different kinds of oracle decks. The big one I love, if you are Hindu, the big one I love is I hope you can all see that, Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light. There is a lot of cards in there that are much more affiliated with the Hindu religion. So that's my new favourite. I'd share this one in, I think, the How to Give Career Readings and a Life Purpose Readings course. And I am going to be doing my new courses that I do a lot more with these ones too, because I really do love them. They're not... the reason why they're not in the beginner's level course, they're not really beginner cards. And I have to say that in the way that the ones I chose for this course are very basic, easy, you can see it and get the message straight away. These ones do take a bit more studying of the deck and practicing and applying them to your own life and then practicing with real people. So that I wouldn't call them a beginner level deck at all. So my apologies for that. But if you get it and you practice some of the skills in this one, then you will get better at it. So don't worry, it just takes a bit more time than some of the other decks I talk about in this course. So I hope that helps anyone who's looking for alternatives to angel and archangels. So I'm going to, before I answer the questions, I'm just going to talk about a little bonus masterclass that I've got for you guys. So some of you might remember that at last year, I unfortunately was forced to stop allowing in our beautiful group free readings in exchange for Facebook reviews and free readings in exchange for social media likes and subscriptions. And the reason I had to do this was it was just causing too many problems. And originally the group was set up to be a study group. It wasn't set up to be a group that helps people promote their businesses. So I had to basically say, okay, I'm going to take that off the table. And people now you can definitely still offer free readings in the group, but only to get private feedback, not Facebook reviews, and not to get social media likes. Because for me, I think it's too confusing. People can get a free reading off you and then go back and then unlike your channel. There's no way for anyone to police it, whereas I do police the feedback. So if someone doesn't give you your private feedback, if you send an email to team@saljade.com within 14 days, after 14 days, if they haven't returned it to you, I will tag them publicly in the group. And that way people know, hey, this person doesn't return their readings. And, we've got a system going that makes people accountable. And after 3 times, if they do that, they're asked to leave the group. So for you, if you're like, hey, I really want to learn how to get great 5-star reviews on Facebook, or I want to be able to do that in Facebook groups, or I want to know how to get social media traffic, I've got a free masterclass that I designed instead as an alternative to offering it in this group. So you can find that on my Facebook study group resources. I'm going to pop that in here so you can see it. It'll be, if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be in the description. And I'll pop it in here in the original comment up here if you're doing this live. And I've just literally released it in the last 3 days. And it's a 1-hour masterclass on how to get 5-star reviews if you're someone who is looking to get reviews for your business and building up your Facebook business and being an online reader. So I'll pop that in here. It is currently, I think it's just Facebook study groups. So saljade.com-Facebook study groups. I think that is it, but I'll pop the actual link in and you can go and check out that free masterclass. You just scroll halfway down. Now on this page, I've designed this whole page for our group. There is also the feedback templates and exchange templates. So these are fantastic for improving your readings because you basically create your feedback template and send it to someone and they have to give you that feedback. And it's a really great way to make sure that A, people are returning your feedback, but you get to learn where you need to improve and you get to build up your confidence. Instead of someone just writing back, yeah, thanks, great reading, you'll actually get really productive and constructive feedback. And I also do it for your exchanges as well, how to make sure you get the best possible exchange experience. So I've got that for you guys. It's on that page, saljade.com/Facebook study groups. I think that's it, but I'll put the actual link in the top, in the very first post of when you see me in here. It'll be in there as well. Okay, so I hope that has helped anyone. If you've got questions, pop them in. I'm just going to scroll back and start answering people's questions now. Annie, I realised when I tried to concentrate on the Meet Your Guardian Angel portion, it's hard for me to visualise. So I hope some of those tips have helped, Annie. Go and start with the Oracle cards first. And then, you know, as I said, you might need to practice some of those clairvoyant exercises that are in the next level course. But for now, see if it helps just doing cards for a while and then go back to the meditation. Laura, it's true. I see little steps in my psychic ability that come through slowly, but I've made a promise to myself to be patient and be a constant student for the go up and up. Thank you, Sal, to let me feel confident. Oh, thank you, Laura. And yeah, that is the best information. Like, we are all different with our psychic journey. I have taught thousands of people and seen some just get it, some it takes a while. But like my driving analogy, not everyone is gifted in every area straight away. And I will have to tell you, I have seen people give the most spectacular readings who struggled with their psychic abilities. Like it's not a one or the other. You can get there. It just sometimes is a bit of a different journey. And I often find that people that go on the journey to try to improve and remove blocks find out so much more valuable information about themselves. It's like you're not only healing your psychic blocks, you heal blocks from all across the board. You can be healing your money blocks, you can be healing your relationship blocks. So there's a lot of stuff in there. Ariel, 100%. Anyone thinking about practicing using this group should do it. It has extended my skill set so much more to get validation from people I knew nothing about. Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is why the group's here for you. And as long as you put in that offer, please, I'm nervous and, I am nervous, and then you'll only attract other people that are willing to support you. They won't ask you those super hard questions. Is being an empath considered psychic? Yeah, look, empathy is part of that psychic umbrella because you're kind of feeling what people feel. You feel their emotions. Now, the negative side of empathy, obviously, is that you just take on too many emotions. So for me, empaths, even more than anyone else, need to focus really consistently on keeping their vibration high and to psychically protecting themselves. Like, you can't let that slip. It's really, that's what will knock you out of your gifts, but also, make you suddenly be angry for no reason at all. In my health course, I have a whole section on psychic wellness for empaths that helps you keep that vibration high consistently every day because of that reason. Any tips for how to be more concise with readings? Sometimes I feel like I'm just talking too much or giving too much info to the sitter, almost like I don't know when to stop. Yeah, look, that is a really common thing. A timer will help you stop. That's a good problem to have. A lot of people have the opposite problem where they don't get enough information. So I will, when I do it, and sometimes I can be a bad person to ask, as you guys know, like that masterclass I created was meant to go for 15 minutes and it's gone for an hour. So I can ramble on a bit. Draw it back to what the key points are for me. When I feel like I'm starting to go too much, I go, right, so key point, like summarizing is the best, like going back and going, right, key point, bang, 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 then move on to the next card or the next point. And then, is that resonating with you? Like getting that kind of feedback? Does that make sense? That helps you get that concision down because you're kind of bringing it back to what the whole point of why they're there for is. So those questions, does that make sense? And does that resonate? and also summaries. They're my 3 ways of kind of bringing it back to what it is and going back to the question. And you can even say, so going back to your original question, that's another preface to kind of move on as well. So that can help too, Ariel. Now, I missed your thing, Ariel. Sorry. Is it Ariel or Ariel? Sorry, I hope I'm saying it right there. Spirit messages personally come in via my own voice and thoughts, so it's hard to distinguish sometimes what is me and what is spirit. Yeah, and that can happen. And look, my only advice for that is don't worry. Like I used to worry about that too, and then I realised it doesn't really matter. I'm getting information that's helping people. It doesn't really matter if it's coming from Archangel Michael or if it's coming from my own deceased grandmother or if it's becoming, it doesn't really matter. It's coming through, it's accurate, it's helping. Like that for me was the priority, because when I started trying to pinpoint who everyone was, I would go to in my head with it. And so don't worry about that if it comes through your own voice or if it's coming through spirit, as long as it is loving, helpful information that is resonating and they're giving you that validation. Yes, that resonates and it's coming back to you. But Ben said, yeah, it could be past life trauma involving an auto accident. That's very, very true, definitely. Inner child causing the blocks. Is he not comfortable with third-party questions? Yep, definitely. Where are we? Hi, Tanisha. Hi, Liz. Hi, Regina. Sorry. Sometimes it flicks through so fast. Tanisha, it was a good thing when you did, and I totally understand why I'm taking it out of the group. Thank you. Smart move, less and less stress. Yeah, thank you, Tanisha. I know a lot of people were disappointed, and I really didn't want to do it. I sat on it for a while, but I just started getting feedback from so many traumatized people in the group. I mean, not so many, not like thousands, but there were enough for me to go, this is just an issue. I don't want people's first experiences with trying to build up their business as a psychic reader to be getting all these negative experiences, because Facebook groups like this study group aren't the best ways to get a 5-star review from someone. There are much better ways. And as I said, this masterclass, I go into the psychology of why people don't leave reviews and why not to take it personally and how to overcome it and make sure you do get reviews. So that's sort of my masterclass that I kind of been working on about the last 3 or 4 months. I didn't even end up putting a Udemy course out last year because I had some health problems, but I also ended up focusing so much on getting this masterclass because I wanted people to feel that they could use Facebook groups in a way that they weren't going to get used and abused and confused. Hey, got some alliteration. Not alliteration, sorry, rhyming. Yeah, so I wanted to create this masterclass for you. It does go for an hour, so you might start going, oh, I just want the tip straight away. But I go into the background about why free readings can attract the wrong energy, but also why people sometimes get confused about how to leave a good review and how to make sure you get a good review. Annie, a name came up once when I was trying to meet my guardian angel. Today on the way to work, I saw the exact name. Whoa! I saw the exact name I thought of on a card deck, I think you're saying, yeah. Is this a coincidence? No. For me, no. These are the beautiful synchronicities. And Marilyn, if you're still watching this, these are the little signs for me of psychic growth. Like when you start getting those little synchronicities and you notice them and you're like, oh, I'm opening up. So yeah, that's a definitely huge thing. Now, in terms of, do you think you're making it up and seeing things? Again, I know it sounds weird. I mean, we all would like to have 100% validation from some ubiquitous being that says you are 100% getting this. Sometimes for me, I just go, you know what? It's helping me. It's working. I feel better. The person feels better. Let's not doubt if we're making it up, because unfortunately doubt is one of the biggest blocks that will shut you off from the information coming through. So just keep going with it. And that was one of the first things I learned in Doreen Virtue's 3-day workshop. One of the first things I learned is just to let whatever comes out, come out. Don't hold back. And then if I was going to start doubting myself of some of the stuff that's come out of my mouth over the years, I don't think my readings would have been as successful. Like I just had to keep, this was coming, sit with it. If it might not mean anything to you now, maybe it'll mean something to you later, but just sit with it. So yeah, try not to doubt yourself. Just go, hey, thank you. I got that little miracle. I got that little synchronicity. Thank you. And then just move on. Oh, it's like the mermaid, Ariel. Okay, good. Or Ariel. Oh, no, I've messed myself up now. working on my personal psychic journey open portals? Yes, absolutely. My 6-year-old told me the other day he saw a room full of faces in the middle of the night. Yes. So so if you're worried about, I mean, that might be him just opening up his own psychic journey. Look, it can, but if you're worried, when I first started doing this stuff like 15, 16 years ago, I would walk into every corner of my room with sage and just clear it, or I got a little bell and I just had my protected crystals, my black tourmaline, my smoky quartz, and I would just, when I started doing the work in the privacy of my bedroom, I would just make sure that there was extra protection around me. So yes, it can open them up, but you can protect yourself from that. And do ask your guides, whether you're Hindu, whether you are Christian, whether you are non-denominational, ask your guides to protect you. So please protect me at all times. And guides are super amazing at protecting children. Like, they will rush in and surround that beautiful child with so much love and so much psychic, gorgeous energy that will protect them. So yeah, do that definitely. And you can do it every night before you go to sleep as well. Is it breaking up for anyone else? I hope it's not my horrible internet. Carla, no one else is mentioning that it's breaking up, but Ariel said she refreshed it. Oh, is it back? God, I hope it's not my terrible internet. No, it's back. Okay, it might have just been something weird going on with my internet building. Now, let's have a look. I hope everyone can still see me. Can you let me know if you can still see and hear me and it hasn't gone to Cyberland? I'll just keep answering, hoping it has. Akshaya, hi Sal, always awesome tips, thank you, to keep growing and keeping us on track. Thank you so much, honey. Liz, I read in one of the responses that we shouldn't know the name of our guardian angels and tricksters could go on when we ask. This happened to come literally after my meditation to get to my know me. It scared you. Look, I don't personally agree with that. I think it's great to know the name of your guardian angels, but what I say, for me, if you never find out the name of your guardian angel, that's okay. I don't focus big on names, and I think part of the reason I talk about this in psychic readings intermediate level, part of the reasons is sometimes our guides will have names that we cannot pronounce in our human brain of language. So for me, don't worry if you don't get a name, but I don't think you shouldn't not know your name. I've never heard of that before. That's brand new information to me anyway. So don't be scared by that. That's the first time I've ever heard that in my many, many decades of doing this stuff. So just, yeah, for me, names will come through for some people. They won't come through for others. As I said, as I've been sort of saying, we're all different. Don't worry if they don't come through. Don't get obsessed and anxious and worried. Just say, for me, often I see people get this incredible visual of exactly what their guide looks like, but they don't get the name, and that's all right because they know what they look like. Ariel, I found that if you provide a reading for someone and it resonates, I've had people offer to give reviews and I don't even have a page yet. Yes, exactly. And that's what I talk about in the masterclass. Like, you can, within this group, you can actually get fantastic reviews from people, but do it on the private feedback and then say, hey, if you've got time, could you go and leave me a review? But if you don't, that's fine. No pressure, no guilt. Yeah, and I agree that's why I had to take that that part of our group away, because people being forced to give a reviews is never a good idea. Like, imagine if I forced you to give a review to my Udemy course. Like, you'd probably be like, yes, I enjoyed her course, but she forced me to give a review. It's like, it's not good energy. It's much better to just people be excited about giving you a review. Okay. Ariel, when you are connecting with spirit guides versus angels, does energy feel significantly different? I can typically tell when energy is around me, but I find it hard to distinguish if it's a spirit guide, angel, goddess. Again, don't worry. I know that sounds weird. I mean, I'm sure there's people that say, no, you have to know the difference. I sometimes feel like I know exactly what's with me, and then sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's just a presence and I'm like, oh, okay, information's coming through. Sometimes I'll get it's Merlin, or, oh, it's a goddess, or, oh, it's, and I'll get it. But sometimes I don't. And when you're, in a reading scenario, for me, I don't stop to question that. I just keep going, keep going, keep going. So don't worry if you don't know if it's an angel or a goddess. I mean, people might say the angels have certain colour energy, like Gabrielle green, Michael purple, but then others will come back and say, no, I see Michael as this and I see Gabrielle as this. So don't get too hung up on the differentiation. I think it's just words and categorizing. I think for me, it's about goddess energy for me feels very feminine. Angelic energy for me feels very light. Spirit guide energy often feels a little bit more grounded, again, but I don't, if it's not coming through like that, I just keep going. Just keep powering through. Thank you, Liz. Yes, fine for you. You're all good. Thank you, Liz. Awesome. You can see me. It's just a bit choppy. You see me fine, working fine. Liz, that you needed that reassurance. I got a name. He was so persistent, and he repeated it 3 times. Oh my goodness! If your angel repeated that 3 times, that's definitely a good sign. Yes. Such a love my energy. Thank you, Ariel. Okay, if anyone has any other questions, pop them in here. Oh, I did have some other news as well. We have a wonderful new moderator, the gorgeous Francine. So if I'm away, I'm going to be away for a lot of next week because I'm having one of my 4 medical procedures. They've been going on for a while with my jaw. So I'm having that next week. And so I'll be away for most of the week. So Francine is going to be in here. She's going to be moderating. She's also here when I'm not here, especially if you are in the US and Canada and I'm asleep in Australian time. So if you ever need things, do tag her. She's great and she's fantastic. Or if there's a problem, she will be monitoring to make sure there's any problems going on. And always for me, if you need me, because I'm only in the group a couple of times a week, the best place to find me is the Q&A board on Udemy if you need something answered quite quickly. So I hope that has helped everyone. And I'm so glad thank you, Ariel. I'm so glad you find them fun and informative. Thank you. And again, if you're watching the replay, anything I've mentioned here today on my YouTube channel, if you hit subscribe, then you'll get access to this whenever I release them each month, as well as all my back catalogues. You just need to go into the description. You can see what I've covered, so you don't have to watch everyone. And you'll also you get notified through YouTube when they've come through as well. And as I said, if you're interested in any of the things I've talked about today, so the Master Health Readings course, for example, the Psychic Readings Intermediate Level course that follows How to Be Psychic, the blocks courses, the Boost Your Psychic Gifts with EFT Tapping and the Past Life one, they were all going to be in the description. So you can find them all there, and they're all available on Udemy. And when you click on those descriptions, you'll get whatever the latest sale is that Udemy is letting me sell them for. So I hope that has helped everyone. Thank you so much for coming along. And if you are watching this and I'm no longer live, just put #replay. so I know, as I said, I'll be coming back in tomorrow to answer some questions, but then I'll be away for a lot of next week. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Izzy. Thank you. I'm so glad you enjoy my courses. And I look forward to seeing everyone again next month. Thanks. Mwah. Bye. Oh, Ariel, any little sneak peeks into what your potential next course will be? That is the $1 million question. So usually I know a lot in advance what my next course is going to be because I walk on the beach and they all start coming through. I have 4 courses in my mind right now that I want to do, and I know people are laughing. I've been promising people in my tarot group that I'll be doing a tarot reversals course for the last 2 years. But I know it's a 6-month project, and because I've had all these medical surgery things going on with my teeth and my jaw, I've had to just put it off because it's going to be me in front of a computer for 6 months doing it. So I've got 2 or 3 other ideas for little courses. I'm not sure which one it's going to be. I'm hoping to get it started. So next week I'm in Brisbane getting some surgeries done, and then after that I'm hoping to get stuck into it. So I should know then. Beginning of March I'm going to be starting on my next Udemy course. So everyone, I'll be able to let you know when then. I'm hoping if it's not going to be the tarot reversals, which I don't think it will be because it's too long and I've got other things to do with my surgeries, I'm hoping it's going to be one connected to spiritual healing, basically. So more of what I teach in How to Be Psychic, but on the spiritual healing level. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, got to put yourself first. I know. I learned that one the hard way last year. Thank you, Ariel. Thank you, Laura. Thanks, everyone. So, yes, I'll keep everyone posted on when it's going to be released. If it's one of these spiritual healing ones, it'll probably be released by, I'm going to say May, if it is. If it's the tarot one, it's going to be probably around about August, September, because it'll take about 6 months. Okay, I hope that's helped everyone. Mwah. Bye. Thank you, Greg. Thank you so much. Bye. Oops, I've forgotten how to log off my own meetings. There we go. Bye.